Hey guys, my name is Mohammed Javed. Performance is my passion.
And today on the Young Paddler, I'm at Boundary Waters with this canoe, and I'm planning on reviewing this. It's something a little bit more different. It's a little bit of fun. So with that, let's get on with the video. Before we get on with the vehicle I'm reviewing today, look at my beautiful filming location. If you guys don't know this place, this is Boundary Waters. It's between the border of Minnesota and Canada, so it's a really beautiful place. And if you haven't seen it in person, I really feel bad for you because, I mean, you have to see it in person. It doesn't really show that good in the camera, so you have to come see it for yourself. But with that, look at the vehicle I'm testing. So it's an Outfitter Edition Winona canoe, and, well, it's made of Kevlar. This canoe is Kevlar. There are two types. So there's aluminum ones, which those weigh between 80 to 100 pounds, and those are kind of heavy, right? They're really strong, but they're heavy. These Kevlar ones, they're between 30 and 45 pounds, so that's a lot of help when you actually have to go on portages, because, you know, there are parts where you can't really go with water. You have to carry the boat over land, so this really does help. And speaking of carrying it over, look at that. Look at some of those green pads over there. I'm pointing at them right now, but those are to put on your shoulders so you could carry the boat more easily. The boat has a really weird driving style. So as I am sitting here, I am technically the engine. So I'm the engine of the front, and my dad's sitting at the back. He's sort of the steering wheel because he steers the boat. So depending on the way he paddles, he steers the whole thing. And to balance it all out, you get your luggage area in the center. So that's pretty cool. But, you know, speaking of the engine, technically the power figures for it, I can't really use horsepower. It's more human powered. And, well, for fuel, it sort of runs on whatever you had last. So right now it's running on some nuts and some sausages that we had for breakfast. So depending on that, you might get a little bit more speed as you go on. You get these paddles to operate the whole thing, so you get two of them. Mine is a size 48. It's probably one of the smaller sizes, of course, but you could get bigger ones if you are taller. The paddles are made out of wood, though, so, you know, they're pretty classy, I'd say, and they're really, really good at what they do. But really, to drive this thing perfectly, or to paddle it, let's just say, perfectly, you kind of need gloves, like these ones that I'm using. They're these 3M gloves and they're kind of rubbery on this side. They're cut resistant, but, you know, it stops from getting bruises on your wrist and all that sort of thing. So it's pretty helpful. I really do like the canoe, and to give it a score, I'm going to use a new scoring system, I guess. It's really unique in its own perspective. So I'm going to use lightness, balance, and just overall control. You know, can you control the darn thing? So I'll score this and the aluminum one since I've tried them both. But with that, let's get started with the Kevlar one that I'm sitting in right now. So let's start off with lightness. This definitely gets the full 10 out of 10. You can't really get canoes lighter than this. It's the perfect balance of, you know, speed and lightness, you know, strength. It's really good in its own perspective, so I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. The aluminum canoes, well, they're not really the lightest of things. They're kind of as heavy as they get. They're really strong, don't get me wrong, but you don't need too much strength. You'd be surprised how well these things have been holding up, even though they're this flexible. So the aluminum ones, I'll just give it a 5, I guess, in that section. Moving on to balance. So how balanced are these Kevlar boats? Well, depending on your abilities to balance it, it's actually pretty good. So right now, with all this luggage in the center, it's actually really darn good. So that deserves a 10 out of 10. There's no imbalance. It's not tipped to one side. There's no extremely fat person sitting at the back and tipping the whole thing over. So, you know, this section gets a 10 out of 10. The aluminum ones, well, they're a little bit more easy to put off balance since they're heavier, so that's going to get an 8. Moving on to overall ease of control. So the Kevlar ones, since lightness is everything with these, right? Because, you know, the power output really depends on the person using them. But if I were to compare the aluminum ones versus the Kevlar ones with just me driving the thing, This is way easier to control. It's lighter, you could steer it more easily, you could change directions more quickly. It responds to waves way better than those aluminum ones, whereas those just heave around. It's sort of like, the Kevlar ones are sort of like a Ford Mustang, which handle really well, and the aluminum ones are more like a Dodge Challenger. You know, they're really powerful, they're just really heavy, and they heave around on all corners. So with that, I'm going to give this Kevlar one a 10 out of 10. So this gets 30 out of 30. It's the perfect canoe for your next trip. You could rent one for 45 bucks a day here near Boundary Waters, which I recommend you to do. Also, if you do come around these places, make sure to get yourself a map, because you'd be surprised how helpful those are. Because here, your phone really does not have access to anything. You can't really get signal here. Since it's such a beautiful, majestic place, they didn't want to ruin it with some stupid cell towers. So you'll need your map, and you can't use a GPS here because it doesn't really work. And with that, you know, the aluminum boat, I think in the control section, it's just going to get, I don't know, a 5. So that gets a total of 18 out of 30 points. So that's nowhere near as good. And honestly, I don't see the point of getting an aluminum one compared to the Kevlar. The Kevlar is just so much better. It has these nice strength beams that hold it up, so it's not like it's that weak either.
Now, before I leave you guys for the end of the video, I do want to tell you to stay notified for my next video. It's going to be my giveaway video. So I did read through my comments, and you know, a few people have been asking, "Oh, where's the giveaway? Where's the giveaway? If you do have one, what is it? When is it? What is it about?" You know, but that's what the next video is on, my giveaway. So do make sure to stay notified for that. It is really unique. It's probably a once in a lifetime experience, and if you do want to win it, you know, do stay notified. It is worth it. So I'll leave you guys with that.
So as always, make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. Stay tuned with that notification bell, so you know, whenever I put up another cool video like this one. And as always, my name is Mohammed Javed. Performance is my passion, and I'll see you all next time on The Young Paddler.